What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to CRÜZR Radio episode 31. I am your host, Michael Brandon, and today I'll be joined with my co-host, Hunter Harris, and one of the CRÜZR Ambassador team members, Tristin Williams. Tristin owns Final Cut Productions, which is a YouTube-based hunting show. He's also involved in the filming of Bassmaster, so we're going to get to see a little bit of behind the scenes of what it means to be a professional fisherman. He's also a full-time land manager, so we're going to get some tips and tricks from him about land management. But without further ado, let's get into it. Tristin, what are you doing down in Florida, brother?
Filming our fourth episode of the season this year. We're down here at St. Johns River, Palatka, Florida.
What season are you talking about here?
I film a show, YouTube fishing show called The Cut Line. This is our fifth season running. Kind of do an inside look behind the scenes of the Bassmaster Elite Series anglers.
Yeah.
So film every tournament and produce a show for that. So
heck yeah. How long have you been involved with that?
I started the show with them, so 5 years now. Like I said, it's our fifth season.
Wow. Yeah.
Plan on keeping it going however that looks. So
right. I know you mentioned to me that you were down in Florida. Is that pretty much the only state y'all travel to?
Oh no, we're all across the country. We'll be in South Carolina in like 2 weeks. I don't know. We hop all over. We'll end in August up in New York. So
yeah, buddy,
travel all over doing that.
Yeah, but I bet that's a big old time consumer for you then, isn't it?
Yeah, it keeps me away from doing some hunting, but luckily the anglers I live with, on the road, they enjoy hunting too. So we're actually gonna roll from here to Georgia and try to kill some turkeys there at their home farm. So
yeah. So you're going to hunt their property up in Georgia?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So basically during fishing season, you just live with whoever you're getting content from.
Yeah, we there's just two guys, Drew Benton and Drew Cook. I film and live with them all year round, essentially when we're on the road. So
that's a pretty sweet gig.
I was fixing to say.
So for those of you who don't know, I would consider myself more of a fisherman than I do a hunter. So anytime I get an opportunity to go fish, I'm gonna go take it. So hearing you talking about going around now, are you able to go fish with them and whatnot? I know they're doing, because it's all tournament style, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty big tournament stuff. I mean, this is like the largest series
for some
world.
Dough.
But
got some bread on the table.
Yeah, I don't get to fish at the tournaments, but we sneak in some fishing time.
Good. Yeah, I was about to say, do you guys go fit? Because they do.
They practice and stuff.
I was about to say, yeah, they've got like practices, and they'll go out a couple days in advance, maybe even a week. I don't know. I'm
see if they can find the fish. Maybe.
Speaking out my rear end here when it comes to tournament fishing. I ain't never tournament fished in my life, but
they practice for 3 days at every tournament, and then a derby for 4 days. So.
Oh, okay. What's I don't understand what the term derby means in fishing. Is that just like
just when the tournament actually starts? So yeah, like it's kind of the same. Every tournament's the same. So day 1 and day 2 of the tournament, 103 anglers fish, and then they cut it down to the top 50 on Saturday and the top 10 on Sunday.
Heck yeah! Have you ever been in a tournament?
I used to fish. I fished a lot of tournaments growing up through high school and college.
Mm-hmm.
I started our college's fishing team back up when I went, and
heck yeah.
I fished competitively for a while, but I don't do it anymore. I just film it. So
yeah. What was your? I mean, I'm sure you didn't fall out of love with it because you're kind of still in the space, but was it more of like a time commitment thing for you, or what do you think held you back from going to that next level?
Yeah, honestly, growing up, I always thought I wanted to be a professional fisherman, but I'll tell you this, once I made it through college and obviously started my businesses and stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into later, I guess once I lived with these guys on the road and seen how it works, I don't know if I could do it, man. It's a freaking grind. I mean, a grind, and a lot of time away from family. I mean,
I was fixing to say,
time,
so if you were a pro fisherman with a family, it's probably a lot of time away from the fam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough, man. But if you're good at it, you can make some money doing it. It's just takes a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, I don't know. What was that? I heard about that one guy. What was it last year? Last year, the guy that was putting
Oh,
weights.
I think that was catfish or muskie or
I
something.
I thought he was a bass fisherman. I thought he was putting lead weights in bass.
I thought
No.
it was a walleye tournament.
Yeah,
Maybe. I
walleye.
can't remember.
Oh,
Yeah, it was walleye.
Okay,
But-
okay. Yeah, I wonder. Ever since I saw that, I've wondered how common it was. Like how many people are getting away with it.
Dude, their vetting process, I'm sure. If you win, you got to take like a polygraph test and all kinds of stuff, don't you, Tristan?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's
No
it's
shot.
like I said, this deal here is like the most legit series in the world. But yeah, I mean, there's polygraphs. They actually require every angler to run a GoPro at all hours of the day during a tournament, and you can get randomly drawn to submit your SD card, and they'll check, every second that you fish, make
Wow.
sure you didn't break any rules. So
Can you protest somebody?
you can, yeah, that happens
Protest?
quite often, actually.
I know it's a thing like racing and stuff.
What, like you show up on the bank with billboards with your buddies and protest fishing?
No.
Like if you think a guy broke a rule or something, you can say, hey, you go to the tournament director and say, hey man, can you check this guy out? Like we think he's
Oh.
cheating or whatever. So
Interesting. I wonder if people do that to just like mess with their rival.
Oh, I'm sure.
Be like, hey, you should go check on Billy Bob over there.
So, like, obviously, there's a lot of money on the line, so there's a lot of rules and regulations. Do they regulate all the way down to like a certain size boat motor and certain size trolling motor, or is it not that specific?
Oh yeah, they got boat motor, boat length. Anything you can think of. They actually require now how many. With technology, the way it's advanced, they limit the amount of graphs, fish finders that you can have on each boat. So it's pretty legit. Everything's changing every day. But yeah, dude, these guys fish for $100,000 pot every week. They have a tournament, so it's big money.
Yeah, no joke. And how many of tournaments do you think like the average pro is going to go to in a year?
Well, in this series, they fish 9 a year plus what we call the Super Bowl. It's called the Bassmaster Classic. So a total of 10. Some other anglers will fish, different trails throughout the year.
Yeah.
To try to make some extra money. But yeah, our division is 9 regular season tournaments and then a Super Bowl, which we just had last month.
So with the Super Bowl, Tristan, is it kind of like a fish off, like you had to have won a couple tournaments on the road, or is it anybody that fishes throughout, or do you got to fish a certain amount of tournaments to be able to
Like
get in
FedEx
that or
Cup, but of
something?
fishing.
Yeah, so you have to fish all 9 tournaments to qualify. You have to be in the top 45 of
Oh dang!
Yeah.
regular season like angler of the year standings. So
Wow.
the top 45 go and fish the big one, and they're fishing for $300,000 at that one. So
Obviously throughout the year they ain't probably fishing against like no slouches, but when you get to that, you're definitely fishing against
the best of the
the
best.
best of the best all year.
best in the world. Yeah, it's tough, man. These guys I film are some of the best, and it's it's
pretty
been a grind
intense
this year. The guys are getting so much better, especially with this technology. Whole nother aspect, we're called forward facing sonar. It's kind of changed the way people fish, and it's getting hard to compete. Like right now they're fishing. I've been watching them on live cameras. They're on Fox Sports today. One of my guys he's got a camera in his boat, so he's fishing live on Fox Sports.
That's awesome.
He had a great
awesome.
practice killing, just catching really nice bass, but he's struggling today. So I've been watching that pretty intently, trying to keep up on him, hoping he's gonna pull it out. But
Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
go
off.
ahead.
But the front facing sonar that you're talking about, are you talking about live scope?
That live scope, yeah.
So you can use that in the tournament?
As of right now, yeah. There's been a lot of
Well, I've never personally used it, but I know some people that's got it, and they're like, man, it is crazy.
it's changed everything. Yeah, it is crazy. It's
you can put
I know
put your
it may
bait
be
right
outlawed
on.
someday, but
They can't hide from you.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I feel about all the live scope and stuff.
I think it's pretty awesome.
I don't know. It's funny. I see these clips on social media where it's like it's the debate between whether live scoping is like good for fishing or not. And it's like, it's showing a guy at the front of a boat fishing without a live scope, and he's just like looking down at his reel, looking out at the water, nothing's happening. And then it's like versus somebody using a live scope and he's standing at the front of the boat, looking down, looking out at the water, and then he looks at the live scope, looks back at the water, and they're like, "What's the difference?"
Well, even your avid pleasure fishermen, you know, your older guys that maybe learn the old school way that you're talking about, a lot of them are going to live scope because you can't deny the power behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go into a rabbit hole, but I'm just going to give you a prime example. I just checked this Bass Track, which is a live update of how much weight they have, shows the standings. And there's a 19-year-old kid right now that's in first place. And he just won his the first tournament ever on his Bassmaster, career about a couple weeks ago.
No way.
And it just goes to show, like, these kids that grew up with this technology, they kill everybody because that's all they've ever known. They fish with live scope every single day growing up. And now they're coming into this, and these old guys they're fishing against are the best in the world, but they've never used it. So they're all behind the curveball, and these young kids and college anglers and everything are kicking everybody's butt with it, man.
So it's a pretty large advantage then in tournament fishing. Or
for sure.
Rather, I would say
it levels the playing field, however you want to look at it.
That's true too. Well, I mean, I don't know. When you're in competition, I don't think any playing field is technically level because you've always got different skill sets going into things. Sure. That's kind of where competition and rivalries get born.
All the
difference in skill sets.
All the guys that I talk to that are using it, they're using it to crappie fish, Tristin.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
for crappie fishing.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, it's killer, dude. It's a blast of crappie fishing.
Like I said, they can't run from you.
Yeah.
You can follow them around, dude.
You can follow them around.
Across the lake, you can chase them.
I go to church with a guy, and man, he's like, he said, I don't even turn around to put them in the well because you turn back around, they're gone. You don't know if they went left or right or whatever. He said, I usually got a couple flopping in the boat there until
gets a little stockpile going.
Yeah.
It's literally like playing a video game. You can see your bait, you can see that fish, and you're just sitting there twitching until you can watch them come eat it, and boom. It's just like,
that's insane.
It's crazy.
But you got to pay to play. I mean, that stuff ain't cheap, is it, Tristin?
No.
What do you? I mean,
got
like
it on my boat.
As a beginner, what do you looking into? Like, could I get a setup for like $800?
Oh no, no chance.
You're closer to like upwards of $2,000.
Really?
Really?
Oh yeah.
To get the whole setup, yeah.
Well, like, I don't know. So I'm looking at getting a kayak or a John boat. I'm in a debate right now. Which one I want to get first? I couldn't just get like a one screen live scope setup for sub $1,000.
No, I don't. Tristin will know better, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No?
Not anymore. Maybe when it first came out, but it's gotten so good that they've changed everything. I mean, you could probably get a pretty beginner setup for a little over $1,000 maybe, but I haven't checked in a while.
Most of those guys that you're around, Tristin, the guys that are running it, basically for their livelihood, they're probably got like the nice 16-inch screens and all that good stuff, huh?
Oh, 100%.
They've got 3 of them on just the front of the
That's
boat.
what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, you're probably looking.
Why don't you just go ahead and
mount $7,000-8,000, ain't you? Probably or more.
More. Yeah.
Shoot, I just mount a 55-inch TV to the front, run an HDMI cable to it, and call it a day.
You would not believe. There's some Japanese anglers that come from Japan, and one of them has, I don't know exactly the size, but I bet you it's over a 30-inch screen on the front, and he's live scoping with that.
Well, I mean, you could probably see a lot better.
He has actually 5 live scope monitors that are looking in 5 different directions. He got 2 off the back of the boat, 3 off the front. He basically has a 360-degree angle of every single fish around him that plays on that screen.
Good night, man.
So is that your you can only have up to 5 monitors, or is it
5 monitors? Yeah. So pretty much every angler on the series runs 2 at the console and 3 up front.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
That's wild, man.
That is
I'd
crazy.
like to get on one of those boats and just see.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because I've never personally, I've watched it on YouTube and stuff, but I've never personally fished with it.
Mm-hmm. With a live scope.
Yeah. But I mean, if I was a pretty avid fisherman and I could afford it, you best believe it.
You
be in
best
my
bet.
boat.
Yeah, absolutely. I plan on getting one eventually. I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably wait until. Well, I'm thinking about buying a John boat and doing one of the tiny boat builds.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm thinking about doing. Put a mud rudder on it.
I've got one that I built with my dad, and I love that thing more than any boat I can fish out of.
You got a tiny
16-foot
boat build,
boat.
dude. It's like having a 4-wheeler on the water, ain't it, Tristan?
Take that thing anywhere.
I'm so close to pulling the trigger on it. It's not even funny. I almost bought a hole last week. I didn't even tell you that. I almost bought a 14-foot John boat hole.
They're high, man.
Well, the one I found was $500.
That's pretty good.
I think it was I don't remember. It was I think it was an unbranded dude. It needed some work. Let me tell you that it needed a little TLC. But
I'll tell you this: we got my John boat for free, and it was stacked full of mud and leaves from sitting in the woods for about 20 years, all the way up to the top of the boat. And we cleaned it out, built decks into it, got graphs on it, everything. Man, it's legit.
Yeah, Michael's gonna be rolling up in a $500 John boat with $8,000 worth of live scope on the front of it.
No joke.
Yeah, pay for the essentials,
Tristan, do you think these tournaments are probably trending towards maybe outlawing live scope, or do you think it'll be you think it's here, it's a staple, it's here to stay?
Man, I think my opinion's probably not right, but what I see is that people that hundreds of thousands of people that watch this stuff on TV and watch it online and whatever, YouTube, however they take in their content of watching live bass fishing, are tired of watching it because they're looking at a dude that's staring straight down at his screen and never looks up, and it's just not fishing anymore. Like, nobody wants to watch that. They like to see guys up there, catching them on a frog and casting and reeling and pitching to targets and
playing the game.
I think that 100%. I think more than likely, if it's going to be outlawed, it won't be for a little while. I mean, I wish they would start outlawing it next year, because it's just changing fishing. I think they're going to lose viewership.
And when they start losing that viewership,
that's when
the money,
that's
from
their
the
money. Yeah, I mean, that's how they make the money. They're going to have to change it at some point when that happens, but I just don't know how long that'll take.
So basically, when it starts dipping in that pocketbook, they're gonna take this and say, "Hey guys,
we gotta change something.
We gotta look at this."
Yeah, I was so I kind of mentioned earlier about I was seeing a lot of those social media posts about people having problems with people like live scope, especially in tournament fishing. And I was reading, I think it was a Reddit thread maybe, or maybe a Twitter thread. Can't remember. Anyways, I was reading the thread online, and it was just these people basically arguing back and forth on whether it should or should not be allowed. And one of the ideas that I saw somebody write, he was in favor of it not being allowed, but he was like, as a form of compromise, why don't they just do like 2 different classes? One is like all technology is allowed, and the other one is like either limited technology or no technology. And just have the technology one, because that's like the bread and butter of tournament bass fishing, as far as I know. Like, that's just like what you said, Tristan. You can put it right on them, so that it's a lot less guesswork and a lot more money. A lot more money's in 100%. It, so it only makes sense that if you were to have 2 series like that, the technology one would be your main one, where the big bucks are made, and then it would almost be like a feeder series, like a minor pro league.
What about Tristan? If they did outlaw, you was talking about that younger guy that's just killing it. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there like him, his age. I mean, if they ain't got live scope, I don't know if these young guns can hang.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to, I want to see. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, it's crazy. This has never happened in the history of Bassmaster, but I don't know how many rookies there are, but let's just say there's 8 rookies that have came and qualified from the Bassmaster Open Series. They're all
crazy young, probably.
Yeah, they're all young, and all of those anglers that have made it on their first year, they've all been in the 50% of the top 10 in our first 3 events.
Golly,
have been filled by rookies. It's just like, what would happen if they take that away? Like, I just want to see. I want there to be a trail where they all got to go fish and just go fishing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you're
and
almost
just see what
taking
happens.
the
tradition out of it.
the skill out of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. They don't have to know a lake and know how to fish. It's
'Cause,
just like they look at that screen and they can find them anywhere.
No,
Um,
I feel like it's a safe assumption here to say that even the young guns that are on the tournaments,
I mean,
like all the
there's
rookies,
some good young guys.
they're probably pretty skilled even without the live scopes. I would
There's
say.
some of them. Some of them.
Maybe the difference is that they wouldn't be getting like top placements. Like they wouldn't be getting podium placements if they didn't have
agree.
the
I mean,
technology.
I'm not
Do you
saying
think
they're
they'd
not
still be
skilled,
able to
dude.
compete?
You know, I mean, they're definitely skilled, but they just have such an advantage because these guys that have been fishing it for years have no experience with it. So
Yeah.
it's already
Versus the guys who grew up on it.
Plus the old dogs, new tricks thing. I mean, it's
Hard to change habits.
it's a little bit harder for me to learn
Mhm.
things now than when I was, you know,
Right.
a lot younger.
There's some guys that are in the Elite Series that have been here for several years that are refusing to use it. I mean, they won't put it on their boat, but you're starting to see them fall down
They're
and down
starting to
and
fall
down.
behind.
So
It's unfortunate, in my opinion.
I think so too. You know a lot more about it than I do, Tristan, but just from you talking, I don't know which way I'd sway, really, to be
I don't
honest
know.
with you.
I mean,
I'll tell you what I would love. Deer scope.
Oh man. That'd be awesome.
that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I mean, that's basically the same. Like that'd be like you having a drone in the deer woods, and like you
The
just
red drone.
Yeah.
you just pull up in
And
your
it just
truck
follows
and
you.
just sling this thing out the window and go check all your fields and never get out of the truck.
Thing, man. Yeah.
That's essentially what it is, fishing.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Eagle eye view of everything going on.
Because most of your, Tristan, where we live, we got 3 good bass lakes right here, and
Mhm.
most of your local like OGs, the guys that that hammer big fish, they're all older
Mhm.
because they're part of that old school on the water
They
experience.
got all the tricks and trades.
Yeah, they beat the
Tricks
banks
of the trade.
instead of, watching a screen, like you said.
Mhm.
They're diving around out in the middle of the lake with a little minnow bait tied on, just dropping it right in front of the fish. They don't even hardly see the bank anymore.
I
That's
don't know.
so weird to me.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just doesn't feel like which again, I don't have any experience using one, but I don't think it would feel like fishing.
I definitely think it's cool.
Oh, it's awesome. I love technology. Don't get me
Like
wrong.
pleasure fishing. Oh, dude. Yes.
Oh, the technology is amazing, and it really is. And there's uses for it, but it's going to get so good that there's going to come a point where you got to change something. You got to get rid of it or something, because it's changed the sport of fishing. It's a huge controversy right now of what to do, and everybody's fighting. And
It's the young
It's a
guys
mad
versus the
world in
old
the
dogs,
fishing.
probably.
Generational war here going on.
I mean, there is young guys that just. I mean, there's some people that just have that fish sense. They're just good. They got the will to go a lot, and they're good.
It's not me.
It's not me.
I love fishing, but I'm bad at it. I love fishing, but I'm bad at it. So I think my PR is like a 2-pound bass.
pretty bad.
No, it's probably it. I mean, it's not much bigger. It's probably like a 3.5. What's your PB, Tristan?
9 pounds 7 ounces. He's hanging on the wall in the basement.
Couldn't get the double digit, could you?
No, but I told myself I'd never mount one unless it was over 10 pounds. I said, you know what, 9.7's close enough.
Oh, dude,
I'd have mounted it in a
Hey.
heartbeat.
round up,
Yeah.
brother.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Oh man.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So you're down in Florida with the Bassmaster. What are you guys heading somewhere next? I know you said you had your guys' Super Bowl. You said a couple weeks ago, or
Yeah, so we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma for that last week of March. But actually, I'm headed somewhat home after this one. I'll probably head back to Iowa Monday or Tuesday. But we've actually already had a tournament here in Florida last week, so this is a back-to-back week. It'll be a 17-day trip for me. In fact, we actually got delayed a day on our last tournament because of high winds, and so we went a day later. And we got no off day in between. We went straight to practice on this lake practiced for 2 days instead of 3, and started the tournament the next day. So we're pretty dog tired.
I bet.
Trying to
I can imagine.
grind. So
Absolutely. So do you follow one team around the entire time, or are you kind of jumping from boat to boat?
I'm just with 2 guys the whole time. That's the 2 guys that do the show. Obviously it's an individual sport, but they kind of they share their information. They help each other out. That's just how they do it. Some guys do it, some guys don't, but they kind of fish the same stuff, help each other out, and they've been a pretty dynamic duo thus far. So it's worked out.
Nice. Absolutely.
Yep.
So you gonna get into the turkey woods when you get back home?
Yeah, it was funny. I was opening day was the day of me having to get on a plane to fly to Florida.
Oh,
That's tough.
I did go out. I took my dad out, and one of my farms in Iowa is about 5 minutes from the house.
Mhm.
We were covered up in birds. We just had a short hunt.
You had to get out of there.
Yeah, I was sneaking out of the woods, and the gobblers we were chasing all morning were out in this field between me and the truck, and I'm like, dadgummit, man, I gotta go. But I was like, heck with it, I'm gonna try calling, and I called one of them into about 48 yards. Had the bead on his head. I'm like, I know my gun could hit him with these 3.5s, but I'm like, I ain't got time to clean this bird. I'm just gonna get one when I come back. So
yeah.
we
Chose
let
the
him walk,
responsible
but
decision.
Yeah.
Well, if I was you, I'd have shot it and told my dad to take care of it.
I considered it, but I am glad we're going to swing through Georgia on the way back, and I'm going to fly home from there. But hopefully we can kill a bird in Georgia and get that on film.
Oh, yeah.
And have a little extra episode for the fishing channel here. So
that'd be nice. Absolutely. Are you, is that the only other state you're going to be hunting in? Is Georgia and Iowa for turkeys?
So I'll do Georgia, Iowa. I guess this is just in order. Well, I've already been to Florida. I went down south, clear to the Everglades pretty much to chase Osceolas. Opening day of the South Zone. Kind of struck out there. Had a really wet year down there, and we pretty much treaded through at least 2 foot of water the whole time, trying to find a bird, looking for a dry field. So, conditions didn't work out on that. But yeah, go from here to Georgia, fly home to Iowa, hunt there, and then go down to my hometown in Missouri. I got 2 tags in Missouri, and then from there, may swing through Oklahoma for a Rio possibly, and then up to Wyoming for my Merriam. So,
jeez, so you got a full plate ahead of you then.
Yeah, I'm most looking forward to my Wyoming trip. My buddy lives up there. I love those Merriams. It's just one of the prettiest places in the world to go hunt a turkey in the Black Hills up there. So.
Oh yeah, it's it's probably the area of the country I'm going to go to next as far as traveling goes. I've never been out in that area, so I've just heard it's an incredible scenery.
Yeah, man, we hunt about 25 miles south of Devil's Tower, so we're just across the state line essentially from the Black Hills of South Dakota. So we're kind of close to like Mount Rushmore and all that stuff. But
that's awesome.
It's just beautiful. They got some of the biggest bulls, in that area. So we shed hunt for elk every time we're turkey hunting too.
That's sick.
So,
are y'all going to be all the turkey states you're going to hit? Are you going to be filming for the final cut?
Yeah, man. I was hoping. So this is my 3rd year running. I've been to Florida 3 years in a row now, and have struck out on my Osceola. But otherwise, I have finished my slam 3 years in a row. Like I've got the 3 other species. I just can't land on one of those Osceolas. So
you'll get one.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I may look at some private ground next year. I've been chasing them on public, dude, and it's just
they say it is like tough. Like tough ain't even the word.
No, so overpressured. Like, I mean, it's the only part of the state where these birds are in the whole country. So everybody and their mother's coming down there trying to find one, and it's madness.
Jeez, I don't know.
But,
I don't think I'm not really planning on going out of state to hunt any turkeys anytime soon. That might change this year though. I don't know. I might get fired up and want to go out of state. But I do got some ground in Kentucky I can go to next year. So so Iowa, the birds in Iowa, what's the trend up there? Where are you hunting at? What are you looking for?
I guess this last week I was hunting their opening day. It's a farm I've never hunted. This is actually like I've only hunted one day in Iowa prior to this year. I was traveling so much last year, which is the first year I moved to Iowa. I killed one the one time I went out on some public ground, but this year I'm hunting a farm, a deer hunt about 5 minutes from my house, and I don't know. It's kind of similar to at home where I'm from in Missouri. I was
Mhm.
up on a timbered ridge. I had like 9 gobblers up there roosted, probably within 200 yards of me. Of course, they all spread out and stuff, but yeah, we were hunting them in the timber there. So, um, which is, I say, I mean, the trend in Iowa is not hunting them in the timber. We don't have much timber. We got a lot of open
Right.
ground and ag, but luckily where I'm at, I'm pretty blessed. I've got super long ridge of hardwood timber, super mature. So it's kind
Nice.
of a rarity in Iowa that I get to hunt in there.
Sure.
So it's full of birds though.
It's
That's
got
I'm
a pretty
sure.
pretty sweet setup then for you then.
Turkeys like to
No
roost in
doubt.
trees, so I would
Oh,
imagine.
do they now?
Yeah. So if they, I can imagine if you like Tristan said, there's not a lot of trees around. If you can find a pretty dense, wooded area, you're probably going to have pretty concentrated amount of turkeys.
No doubt.
That's sweet. So how was your deer season, Tristan?
It was good, man. Like I said, this is my first deer season getting to hunt. So when I moved up there, I was filming my hunting shows and for other people, not my own show.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get to hunt much, and that kind of occupied my season 2 years ago. But this past season, yeah, I shot the 2 biggest bucks of my life. I was born and raised in central Missouri, and we didn't quite have the quality of deer as like northern Missouri, southern Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I killed a 148-inch 8-point this year with my bow, and
Sheesh.
157-inch, kind of non-typical 13-pointer, I think he was technically. Funny story with that though. I killed him with a shotgun, so we don't have a rifle season in Iowa.
Really?
And so, yeah, I killed him during shotgun season because being new to Iowa, a new resident, I didn't really know the regulations. And I bought a shotgun season tag thinking that I was going to go out with my buddies, during shotgun season, and you can legally party hunt there. So I just bought it for that. Well,
Mhm.
I didn't know that if you didn't fill your buck tag during shotgun season, you could no longer bow hunt the rest of the year.
What?
So once I figured that out, I had 5 days to kill my second buck in Iowa, and luckily we found one for me to shoot, and I killed him. But yeah, I was pretty upset about that. I was looking forward to bow hunting late season.
That don't even make
good
sense.
spot.
Yeah, I wonder.
No, it's
It's a little
weird, dude.
strange. So you can't continue bow hunting until you have filled your shotgun tag?
No, so like during shotgun season, once it opens, it's about 2 weeks long. You cannot bow hunt during shotgun, but
Oh.
you can only buy 2 antler deer tags in Iowa. So if you buy one for shotgun season, that's it. I didn't know that. I thought if I
Oh.
didn't fill it, I could just go buy a late muzzleloader
Archery.
season tag and kill the second one with my bow. Yeah,
That is strange.
that is not the case. So
I wonder why they don't let you just transfer it over to a bow tag, to an archery tag.
probably for non-residents, I guess, maybe. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. So do you guys open up with shotgun season then? Or when's
No,
that?
it's right after the rut. So shotgun season's not till like late November.
Mm.
Okay. So it's a little bit later in the season then, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Right
Yeah.
on. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I wonder if any other states have that. I've never
I'm
heard
not
of it.
sure, and I don't know if any other states honestly have just a shotgun season and not rifle. When I say shotgun, you can use straight walled rifles like
350 Legend.
350 Legends and stuff. Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'd be
no
I'd
high
be good to
tires.
go then.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great gun. I love them things.
Yeah. I just bought one, what was it, 2 years ago?
It's just so flat up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Mine don't like to reach out there and poke them. I don't know. I don't know that much about calibers of weapons, to be honest with you, but I was just told don't try to take anything out past 300 yards.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, that
I'm no
that buck
marksman,
I
so-
killed, the buck I ended up killing, like I said, I had 2 days left at this time that we found this buck, and we're actually just driving back. It's a crazy story. I'll keep it short, but so we had a bunch of guys down from Minnesota. They drew shotgun tags in Iowa, and obviously we all split up to take them on our ground and try to fill their tags. So my buddy Tate that I do the final cut with, thought he was having like a heart attack or something, and so he pulled out of the blind like an hour and a half before dark, and we were going to take him to the hospital. He's having something weird going on.
Man.
Well, anyways, I was hunting with another kid, and he came and picked us up, and we were just driving down the road back to the barn because his heart had gotten better or whatever. And we see this buck standing out in this field, and he's like, dude, holy cow, that's a buck I've had, in early July, and I haven't seen him since, whatever. We're like, no kidding. Well, he was standing in one of their feedlots for cattle. They own a big farming operation there. And he's like, dude, that deer's got to be used to the tractor going in and out of there because we feed cows there, every day. So funny story, we got in a tractor and he picked me up and just kind of drove me in close to where he was so that, he didn't spook the deer off. And I got out and snuck into this ditch. I probably had to walk 100 yards, and he was still feeding up there in the same spot. So I kind of spot and stalked this buck, and ended up being the biggest buck of my life. But yeah,
I bet that was thrilling.
It was neat, dude. Yeah.
Oh man. So the first year I got into hunting, I didn't know what I was doing at all. And so I had originally bought a self climber, but I fell out of it. So, the next time I went hunting, I didn't bring it with me, and I just went spot and stalk. It was like my third hunt ever. And I got like probably 20 yards from a doe and didn't know it was there. It was like bedded down in this real big thicket, and I thought it was just like a rabbit trail, but apparently the deer were using it as well. Which I'm sure if I went now and saw that spot, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's for sure a trail, a game trail. Anyways, I was walking along this trail, and it couldn't have been more than 20 yards away from me. Both does jumped up and ran right next to me. Dude, I was so scared. I had no idea what was going on. No clue. And it was like the sun had just come up, so it was still pretty dark. Like,
Did you think they were going to attack you or something?
I didn't know what it was, dude. I was like, I'm getting attacked by skinwalkers. Because the guy that I was hunting on somebody else's property. It was a buddy of mine who hadn't hunted in like 6 years, and he had been wanting to get back into it. It was my first year into hunting, and I was all, happy-go-lucky. Let's go get it done. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's just get in the woods. So we did. And he doesn't like walking in, and he had hunted this property for several years. So he had a spot. He already knew where he wanted to go. So he walked like 50 yards into the woods. He didn't go very far. I'm like 200 yards in. And he after the does jumped up and scared me, he like walkied me. He's like, is everything okay? You all right? I was like, yeah, it's all good. I was like, you got 2 does coming your way though. Oh man. But yeah, no, spot and stalk, man. It for those of you who haven't done it, and Tristan, it sounds like you've had some pretty good success with it. I haven't killed anything spot and stalking. Dude, it is the best thrill.
It's intense
when you can get up on one.
Yeah, I just wish it was with my bow. Obviously, it was illegal to use a bow during that season, but it was still fun.
Yeah. You still got the target. That's all that matters.
Dang right.
Fill the tag, baby.
That's right.
Right on. So I know you do some land management, isn't that correct?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I do full time, I guess. I say full time. I'm not home much with my fishing show, but when I am home, I sell land, real estate. Sell a lot of farmland and hunting properties full time in Iowa and Missouri. I kind of live 25 minutes north of the Missouri state line, so I'm able to sell in Iowa and Missouri. And I pair that kind of with habitat management stuff. All these landowners, deer hunters that I sell and help buy land for. I offer them all those services to build food plots, TSI, burning, the whole 9 yards, anything I can do to help them improve habitat. We're trying to kind of, educate people on how we can make this habitat better where we live in Iowa. We've got the county I actually live in is known as like Jurassic Park in Iowa. It's known for the biggest bucks in the whole state. So
Nice.
We intend to educate people and help keep that true, and make our properties better so we can keep growing big deer and manage them the correct way. So yeah, it works well, man. I enjoy selling land, enjoy helping make these properties better for people. So
Right, and I'm sure
it's
it's helped you out tremendously just getting in it, because I know, like, my background is production work, and I know the most I've learned about production is when I'm teaching others. I'm sure it's probably the same thing for you when you're going to these different pieces of property and you're showing people what they can and what they should do. Probably gives you some pretty good ideas on how to track deer more effectively.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, the more you can immerse yourself in the places they live, I mean, obviously, the more you learn. But yeah, I don't know. It's just Iowa is much different than where I'm from. Like, it's just I don't know. It's a whole nother world, dude. The deer are so much bigger. Habitat's different. Not as many trees. I grew up hunting a lot of hardwood timber, just miles and miles of timber, and I don't have that anymore. So it's been a learning curve to learn kind of how these deer operate. But I feel like we got a pretty good handle on it after our season last year, and we're just gonna keep building off of that, and hopefully help some other people, have success on their properties too. So
Right on. And I know you hosted an event a couple weeks ago, right? How'd that go?
Yeah, it would have been the weekend I left for Florida. It was good, man. Yeah, it was the first annual event. We hosted as a turkey season kickoff party. It was the weekend before opener, so we had some live music, country singers. My good buddy Logan Mize came to play, and a guy named Dom Ellis. He's from Louisiana. He's a up and coming singer. He came and performed as well, and
Nice.
we just had a good time. Played some hunting films, got everybody pumped up to go kill a turkey, and yeah, we had a huge raffle. Gave away a CRÜZR backpack to a guy that is gonna love it. So yeah, it turned out good. We everybody had fun, and hope to continue doing it, for years to come. We may even try to incorporate a deer season kickoff event as well here in the future.
Heck yeah.
Kind of just bring outdoorsmen together and hopefully help the sport a little bit, as much as we can, at least. So,
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Conservation of hunters.
that's right. Yeah, there's so much, how it is, man. This hunting industry is kind of cutthroat sometimes. I think the more we can get people off of the Facebook groups talking smack and get them together and just have a good time, I think that will help the sport overall.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, man. Yeah, I think we all just need to be able to help each other. Obviously, if you don't want to give up your spots, that I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
The spots that you worked hard for, if you don't want to give those up, that's fine. That's not the types of tips and tricks and camaraderie.
But techniques and stuff.
But techniques and tips, stuff like that.
There's ways we can all help each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. I am extremely grateful to everybody I've been surrounded with since I got into hunting. Because if it wasn't for everybody I've been surrounded with that have taught me all the different things, like Tristin, yourself, I know when we were up at ATA, we talked a pretty good bit about deer hunting while we were up there. Hunters taught me plenty. Chad's taught me plenty. Everybody I've been around with. If it wasn't for the tips and tricks and the helps that I've gotten, I'd probably given up hunting after the first year. Just to be honest, because I was so overwhelmed getting into it. But now I feel pretty confident. As far as the deer woods goes, that I can go in on my own on a brand new piece of property and figure out what I need to do.
Yeah, man. That's kind of the biggest part of what I do is on the habitat side of things, is like just consulting. I mean, there's some guys that either can't afford, to pay all the money to get the farm work done or whatever. But to go into a guy's farm and go observe it with them and try to teach them, deer patterns and just breaking it down as far as where a guy should hunt and, where deer live and where they travel to. That's all like essentially my favorite part of what I do with them. So,
nice.
But, my plan, in the near future is to kind of start documenting some of that stuff from like a behind the scenes standpoint, and, hopefully put that content out there to educate some people as well. So
absolutely, bro. So Tristan, I know we picked you up. What was it?
Year before last.
Year before last, so 2 years ago.
Yeah, a little over a year ago.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what was the trade show we met you at?
Iowa.
The Iowa show.
Iowa
I
Deer
guess that
Iowa
makes
Deer
sense.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we saw you then, and the work that you guys were putting out as far as content goes was incredible. So we definitely wanted to bring you on board. And if anybody's listening to this and you like watching hunting content at all, be sure to go give these guys a follow. Super solid content, super solid group of dudes. Tristan, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you guys got into this space as far as what Final Cut is and how you guys got involved?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I guess the best way to preface it is, I guess, a little bit about my background. When I was going to college, I guess it was in my last year where I was going to get my bachelor's, and I kind of tired of school. So I started a videography company, and I started freelancing, and I guess doing that for 3 or 4 years around the Kansas City area. I had an offer to go up to Iowa, move there, film a YouTube channel for Bomar bow hunting, and they talked me into it. I moved to Iowa. I worked there for about 6 months, filmed some 200-inch deer getting shot, and worked alongside Josh, and I got to help a lot on the farm management side, learn some things there, and I guess kind of whenever we parted ways on that, I had met some friends living in that area, kind of central Iowa there, and happened to be those guys, Tate, and some of the guys at Final Cut, and they had always talked about having their own show, hunting group, selling apparel, making YouTube shows, and they just never had the means to do it as far as the knowledge with camera work and all that. So
Right.
that's kind of where I came in. And up to that point, I had already ran kind of 2 YouTube shows growing up in Missouri. My buddies and I always had something going. And, I ended up selling one of them off and kind of quitting the other one when I moved to Iowa. I didn't really have any other choice, but I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. We started another show with those guys, and it's been great, man. We had a pretty big following with it thus far. We've only been at it for a little over a year, but our first year filming, we had 177-inch buck killed, 160 plus killed. So it's been good, but we try to do the best we can as far as putting out content. We're working pretty hard on the turkeys now. Hopefully I'll get to kick more off when I get back, but
heck yeah. So if anybody listening wants to go follow them, where can they find you at?
Yeah, so the Final Cut on YouTube or Final Cut Outdoors, you'll find us on there, and same thing on Instagram, Facebook. We stay pretty up to date on that as well. Do a lot of saddle hunting, hopping around with the CRÜZRs, and a lot of spot and stock actually too. We kind of mix things up. Iowa's a very unique place. It requires to do a lot of different techniques as far as killing big deer. So we dive into a lot of that stuff.
Heck
Pretty fun stuff to watch.
Now, would you say that saddle hunting has kind of changed the game for y'all, or has it made a small impact, large impact?
Yeah, I had never touched a saddle. Never thought I would until I met y'all at that Iowa Deer Classic. We had a booth right next to the CRÜZR for those listening, and they talked me into going to sit in one, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's comfortable. I don't know if I'd ever use it. And anyways, we got set up with them, and I loved it. I took it out in the woods for the first time, and it has changed. Saved us a lot of time. That's for sure, as far as, just having mobile setups, self-filming hunts and stuff. Your gear gets pretty heavy carrying in big old climbing sticks and 2 stands for your camera guy and all that stuff. So it's definitely made it easier on us, that's for sure. And as far as killing bucks with it, we've just been able to get in a lot more unique and diverse places that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get into. So it's definitely helped us in the long run. I don't plan on stopping to use them at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty effective tool in the tool belt. We've always said that it's
especially filming out of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, it's changed the game on filming, dude. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been It's been nice. Now you guys are hunting mostly private, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we'll hop in a little bit of public. We've got some spots that have some big deer on public. With all the landowners I work with and a lot of buddies that are farmers, I do have access to a lot of private ground, which makes it nice. It's a heck of a lot easier on us.
Shoot,
But,
I don't blame you.
yeah, it's dude, I grew up hunting public. That's all I ever known. I just never knew what a saddle was back then. I grew up in Missouri and carrying in a lone wolf climber every time, and I'd hike in 2.5, 3 miles to get away from everybody. So that's all I knew. But switching to the saddle, even on private ground, dude, it's helped me so much. I mean, I wish I'd have had it my whole life. I probably had a lot less back problems than I do now if I had.
Yeah,
had
maybe.
One, so.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's so nice. For those of you who haven't hunted with a saddle, walking in with one is one of the best advantages. One of the best advantages. It's just so light.
It is nice.
So are you guys running the saddle setups to film whenever somebody's hunting out of like a lock-on?
we do both. I've hunted, actually most of my hunts this year were both out of saddles. Just both of us hanging. We have had some that will leave a lock on in, just on a really popular rut spot or something on top of a ridge. We'll have a lock on and then just pack in one saddle set for the camera guy every time. But it leaves us being able to be diverse, hop around and kind of do whatever we want as far as filming goes. So it's a great tool, man. It's definitely changed the way we hunt.
Heck yeah. So once again, Tristin, people can find you guys on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Am I missing anything else here?
No, I mean, as far as just some guys that want to see everything that I do, as far as freelance work, this fishing stuff, you can follow my personal account, just Tristin Williams. And I stay very up to date on there of what I'm doing with my travels and my turkey hunting and all that good stuff. So anything they want to find me on there. Yeah,
absolutely. And are you open to doing like freelance jobs outside of what you're already doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I still do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of stuff in the country music sphere, as far as music video production, event coverage, stuff like that. I'll freelance anywhere. I've done a lot of freelance.
A man's busy.
Deer hunts, elk hunts. So, dude, I don't care what I do, man. If I'm staying busy, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Got to keep those hands moving.
Yeah, I can't ever settle down. It's just an entrepreneurial mindset that
idle hands is
I guess. So
idle hands is the devil's workplace. Is that how that saying goes?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, Tristin, you're doing just fine. Staying busy. Well, man, I know we'd love to bring you down to Tennessee at some point. Do some co-hunts. I know we've talked about getting a lease for CRÜZR. I'm not entirely sure where we're at on that, but definitely still in the game plan.
If it's deer, Tristin, you're going to be pretty disappointed compared to what you're normally seeing.
Man, I hardly never killed a deer in another state. I mean, obviously Missouri and I would like to travel for it. I don't care if they're small. It's just the different terrain and everything. It makes it interesting. So I'm down to go wherever.
Heck yeah. Well, we definitely would love to get you down here at some point. Maybe this year. If not, definitely want to get you down here next year. Even for turkey season, if you can swing it. So,
I'll swing anything. But yeah, I'll tell you this too. As far as deer goes, man, we've got living 25 minutes from the Missouri border. Y'all can buy over the counter tags there in Missouri. We've got some killer public spots in northern Missouri. That y'all can come swing in and try with me.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah, just send me the link to get the tag.
Come on down. That's right.
I'll be there. Missouri, man. I can't. What was the first time? Oh, it was okay. I went to OKC, or that's Oklahoma. Where did I go to Missouri? Where was it? Oh, the rally race.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I went to. That was my first time actually staying in Missouri. Dude, absolutely nothing to see. Absolutely nothing to see.
What part of Missouri?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Have no idea.
I'm gonna tell you this: northern Missouri is beautiful. It's kind of more like what y'all got as far as hills go.
I was gonna say it's
probably not quite as bad, but it's hilly.
It's probably a lot like home where we live.
Salem. That's where we were.
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it was out in the middle of nowhere, homie. Let me
I
tell
was
you
gonna
what.
say it's probably BFE, so I mean, there probably wasn't nothing to see.
Man, the town we were staying at, so we stayed in this motel, which I almost got into a fight with a big rig driver.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'll get into that here in a second. Anyway, so my buddy and I went up there for a rally race, and he took care of all the lodging and travel plans and all that. It was kind of a last minute thing for me. He hit me up on like a Wednesday and was like, "Hey, you want to go to Missouri on Friday for a race?" I was like,
Sure.
Absolutely. So we get up there. He's like, "Yeah, I got our hotel, yada, yada." We pull up to the hotel and I'm like, "So is the hotel like down the block?" He's like, "No, this is it right here." It is one of the sketchiest looking motels
Roach Hotel.
I've ever seen from the outside. The outside. Well, we get inside and it's not bad. Anyway, so we're at the race, go to the race, whatever. We come back that night and we're only staying for one night. We were there for 2 of the race days. So we got there on Friday night. We stayed in the hotel. And we went outside. Oh, that's right. So the car we were driving was having some kind of electrical problem. So every time we parked the car, we had to disconnect the battery.
Wow.
And the hood of the car did not like to latch, so you had to slam it to get it to latch shut. So we went outside to go disconnect the battery and to come back inside. Well, we weren't thinking. It was like, I don't know, 11:45 p.m., like almost midnight, and we slammed this hood. And I walked. Wes is outside, my buddy, and he slams the hood after disconnecting the battery. And I came back outside to grab some stuff out of the car. And the guy that was in the room next to us flings his door open. He's only wearing boxer briefs. And he goes, "What the hell's going on?" And I was like, what? He's like, "Did y'all hear that?" He's like, "Somebody shooting out here?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Y'all didn't hear?" He's like, "Was that y'all?" I was like, "Sir, we didn't." I was like, "We didn't shoot anything." And anyways, so my buddy walks around the car and I said, I can't even remember what I said. It had nothing to do with that interaction. It had absolutely nothing to do. But I thought our neighbor had already shut his door. Again, it had nothing to do with the interaction, but I thought he had already shut his door. So I said something to Wes, and then the guy flings his door open. He goes, "You got a problem?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about, man?" I'm like, "We're just trying to go to bed. Like, we're just trying to get our stuff in the motel room and go to bed like you." Anyways, we ended up diffusing the situation, but it got a little scary there for a second. Old Salem, Missouri. That'll be a core memory of mine.
Yeah, I have no idea where that is. So
I don't know. He was
not a good thing.
Yeah, he was a big rig driver, so he probably wasn't from Missouri, so I'm not going to hold it against Missouri. But I don't. Yeah. It was funny. As soon as we left, I was like, "I'll never forget this weekend, but I hope I never come back to this town."
Well, you'll enjoy northern Missouri much more. We got there's a bunch of big deer running around. So.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, we were out in the woods. I was fully expecting to see deer running out on the rally track. But what was the name? 100 acre wood rally. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, Tristan.
No, I don't think so.
I think that's the name of the race, 100 Acre Woods. It was an awesome race, by the way. So if anybody's listening and you're in that area and you like rally racing, if you ever heard of a 100 Acre Wood race, it was
Be there.
It was pretty good. I think it was hosted pretty sure it was hosted by the ARA. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Anyways. But yeah, Tristan, we definitely appreciate you hopping on, brother.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all having me. We'll have to get together, do some hunting.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. Guys, if you're listening and if you need any help with freelancing work, be sure to hit Tristan up. If you like hunting content, be sure to go follow The Final Cut. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Appreciate it, Tristan.
Yep, y'all take it easy.
See you, brother.
See you, bro.